Are we live? Wait, what? Wait, whoa. Wait a second. It's Saturday. What's going on? Somebody, what's going on? Why are we live? Hang on. Alert the media. What's going on? Why are we live? It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. I should probably put some clothes on then. Hang on. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, and of course, it is a Saturday, and for some reason, we are live. Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration is in what? 5 days? It starts on Thursday, the 7th. It's a Thursday, right? Thursday the 7th, and it goes from April 7th to April 10th. So next weekend is Star Wars Celebration, and we have to have this awesome stream to get excited for this Star Wars Celebration, because there's going to be a ton, a literal ton, like a ton. How much is a ton? Like 2,000 pounds? There's going to be a literal ton of announcements at Star Wars Celebration. So I think it's going to be a blast. We're going to have a fun stream today talking about all these crazy announcements, speculating about what's going to come. We actually know about some announcements that are going to come. We got shows, we got movies, we got video games. We got a lot of fun to get into tonight. Saturday stream. They're rare, but when they happen, they're epic. So let's get into this. Star Wars Celebration is going to be epic. Tons of shows announced, tons of movies announced, tons of hype around Star Wars. That's what we need. That's what Star Wars always needs, is hype around Star Wars. That's all we want. That's all we want. So, we're going to go in order, or at least what we think is the order of what's going to be announced, or what comes out next, at least. We have some release dates. We're probably going to get some release dates at Star Wars Celebration for some of these projects. And we're going to get some trailers, and we're going to get so we're just going to talk about all the projects that are going to come out, pretty much. It's going to be a fun stream. So, it starts off with a banger, like a literal banger. So The Mandalorian ends in 3 short weeks. So sad. It ends in 3 weeks. There's only 3 episodes left of The Mandalorian Season 3. But what comes next? That's always the question. So Star Wars Celebration is going to happen next week. But what comes after The Mandalorian? Now, many people think it is Jedi Survivor, but no, there is a way bigger, way more important project that comes out before Jedi Survivor. And it could be the greatest thing that Star Wars has ever created, and that is, of course, Young Jedi Adventures. This is the next project. Of course, it is made for kids, but it still is the first project that goes into the High Republic. Obviously, it is for kids, but it's Star Wars anyway. I'm probably not going to watch it unless I'm really bored. Really bored. But this is the next project. It comes out on April 26th. 26th. April 26th. So obviously, there's nothing really to talk about here. It's Yoda. It's High Republic. It's some Jedi. It's a kid's show. It's literally hang on, let me pull this over here. There's a teddy bear right there. Teddy bear right there. There's a teddy bear right there. So we're just going to cruise on past this, because 2 days after this show releases, we get... Oh, sorry. Hang on. I forgot we're only doing shows. We're only doing shows first. Shows first, then movies, then video games. Okay? So we'll get there. So the next show is on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, and that is Star Wars Visions Season 2. So I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on Star Wars Visions. As a first season as a whole, I thought it was very good. There were some episodes that were really dumb, like Tatooine Rhapsody, but there was some great ones. I mean, look at this poster right here. You had Ronan. Ronan was unbelievable. You had the twins episode. I don't see the twins on here, but it was also the only thing that Star Wars, Disney Star Wars has created that is Legends, which is very, very cool. And we hope to get more Legends material, other than Visions, obviously, but we hope to get more Legends material, whether it be Old Republic stuff or whatever. I don't know, but hopefully we do get more of this. So what do we think about Visions? Are we excited for Visions? It's kind of gone under the radar. And when I mean under the radar, I mean nobody's talking about it. But it does come out on May 4th. That's about a month away. So it's not that far from now, which is very, very exciting. Honey Badger says, let's go. Watching your live stream and WrestleMania with my brother. Great Saturday. It's a great Saturday, especially because I'm live. Man, I love Star Wars Visions. Honey Badger loves Star Wars Visions. Mr. Sean says, I still haven't watched Visions Season 1. Go watch it. Go watch it. Florida Sucks says, Visions is better than The Bad Batch. Ooh, wow. Wow. Mr. Sean and Florida Sucks are gonna fight in the chat right now. WrestleMania 2.0. You get to watch 2 WrestleManias tonight, Honey Badger. Wow. Okay, first of all, Florida Sucks, you're crazy. The Bad Batch is way better than Visions. If Visions was a whole season about Ronin, or even like the 9th Jedi, then yeah, the Bad Batch would be worse. But we're talking about the Bad Batch, or a Legends material that was a rock band on Tatooine. It's not even close. 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 But we kick straight into high gear after that. Like straight into high gear. R.I.P. Tech. With the Ahsoka show. So the Ahsoka show is in fact the next project. Hang on. I got the thing. Hang on one sec. The Ahsoka show. So the Ahsoka show will be after that. But it won't be for a while. There is no release date set yet, but at Star Wars Celebration next weekend, we will be getting a release date and a trailer. Now, it has not been confirmed about the trailer, or the release date really, but it is very likely. And the most likely release date for this is going to be July, mid to late July, or even August. I know that's so far away. It's so far away, especially the fact that Visions comes out on May 4th, and then you have to wait until July to get the next Star Wars thing. But there is a reason for that. You have, for Disney content, you have Guardians of the Galaxy comes out May 7th or 5th or something like that. And then you have Secret Invasions coming out on Disney Plus in June. So then Ahsoka's just going to be after that. Now, Ahsoka, of course, we could talk about it all stream. Ahsoka is going to be the most insane Star Wars content to ever exist. It is going to be leaps and bounds better than most things that we've seen lately from Star Wars. It's going to have the world between worlds. You're going to have Anakin Skywalker coming back, possibly as a Force Ghost, but most definitely as him on Mustafar fighting Ahsoka Tano. You're going to have this whole new space in Star Wars with the new Beyond. You're going to have Thrawn coming into live action. You're going to have Ezra coming into live action. You're going to have Sabine coming into live action. Chopper, Hera Syndulla, probably Jason Syndulla. And it's just going to be awesome. And it's all written by Dave Filoni, and it's just going to be insanity. The Ahsoka show, I cannot talk enough about it. It is going to be wild, and it's just going to blow people's minds. It's going to be like, okay, Star Wars is back, because people say that all the time. I say that all the time. Is Star Wars back? Because there is no denying that Star Wars is not the same Star Wars that it even was when The Mandalorian Season 2 was coming out. After The Mandalorian Season 2, you had the first season of The Bad Batch, which was just okay. Then you had The Book of Boba Fett, which some episodes are really, really good. Some episodes aren't. Then you had The Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which up until the finale wasn't that good. Then the finale was spectacular. Then you had The Andor show, which is The Andor show. And it was all right, but I mean, it's nothing when you compare it to like The Mandalorian Season 2. So when people say, is Star Wars back? I guess what they're referring to is Star Wars at the level that it was when The Mandalorian Season 2 came out, when Ahsoka was brought into live action, when Bo-Katan was brought into live action, when Luke Skywalker came and took Grogu in as his first frickin' apprentice. That is how Star Wars is back. And I actually believe that the Ahsoka show, whether it be one season, whether it be multiple seasons, will be better than The Mandalorian. Write that down. Somebody write that down. It will be better than The Mandalorian. And it will be the best Star Wars Disney Plus show maybe ever. I don't know how they'll top it. Maybe they will top it. And I do believe it'll be multiple seasons. Because after a complete success of a first season, they're just going to have to do a second season. But I also think they are planning on doing a second season. I do believe that they are planning on doing a second season. But what do we think? Are you excited for the Ahsoka show? Am I getting you more excited for the Ahsoka show, or are you already excited for the Ahsoka show? I'm going to start bouncing up and down because I am that excited for the Ahsoka show. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I liked both, but I prefer Visions. I know that's a hot take. Yeah, Florida sucks. It was a stupid hot take. Mr. Sean says, it would be crazy to see what the doc has done. No. Blah, 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 blah. Honey Badger says, I think he saved... All right, you guys are talking about tech, but Ahsoka. I've been more excited for Ahsoka than Mando Season 3. You are definitely making me more excited. Yeah, Florida sucks. You are spot on here. First of all, thank you very much. I'm very good at getting other people excited because I can get really excited myself. But The Mandalorian Season 3, as it's coming out now, we're getting excited for it. But before it came out, and we talked about this on stream many weeks before The Mandalorian came out, the Ahsoka show has so much hype around it. Now, The Mandalorian Season 3 is getting more hype because of the fact that it's coming out right now. But the Ahsoka show, from even before the start of The Mandalorian, has had this enormous amount of hype around it. When there was no Star Wars show coming out, literally, I would have 2 streams a week like we do now. Now we're up to 3, which is crazy. But I would have 2 streams a week, and I would be able to talk for an hour twice a week about, when there was no Star Wars content coming out, about the Ahsoka show. Because the Ahsoka show, week in and week out, had crazy new reports about a new Beyond, about Thrawn possibly being cast, about Ezra Bridger being cast, about Sabine being cast, about did I say the new Beyond? The World Between Worlds, about Anakin Skywalker being on Mustafar. Like, that show is going to be insane. Absolutely freaking insane. And I can't wait. I literally can't wait. I literally cannot wait. And it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But next week at Star Wars Celebration, we are getting a release date, and we are most likely getting a trailer. A trailer was leaked, if anybody saw that trailer, at D23, was it? Back in the fall. There was an Ahsoka trailer. It had Harrison Dula in it. It had Sabine in it, and it looked awesome. And actually, was that the trailer that had the Ahsoka riding the Loth Wolf? Was that trailer? Was that trailer? Florida Sucks says Zeb looked awesome. That's the best part too, is I'm getting so excited for the Ahsoka show and can't wait for them to bring in those characters into live action. In the way that they just freaking threw Zeb Aurelius in the last episode of The Mandalorian. And it was only for 2 seconds. He had like 4 lines. And it was awesome. The way that they just did that they just threw Zeb in there, in the way he looked, like absolutely perfection. People complained about Cad Bane's appearance in live action. People complained about the deepfake technology on Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2. There was zero with a gigantic Z at the beginning complaints about Zeb's appearance in that episode. And it was so good. It was so good. Which just only makes me more excited for the Ahsoka show. Literally just makes me only more excited for the Ahsoka show. And Honey Badger says, again, even crazier, he says, just wait until we see Sabine with Ezra's blade. That's another thing. Sabine is rumored to still have Ezra's lightsaber, because Ezra gave her his lightsaber before he left with Thrawn. So she is going to be wielding his green lightsaber. At the same time, Ezra doesn't have a lightsaber to protect himself in the New Beyond. It has learned to use the Force in some crazy new ways, and oh my God! I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. Florida Sucks says, the girl playing Sabine is so hot. Pretty sure it's like 30 degrees outside. Oh, you're in Florida. That makes sense. Honey Badger says, yeah, I know. I'm so hyped. I literally... Okay, calm down. Calm down. Should we move on from the Ahsoka show? Maybe we'll come back to the Ahsoka show. I get a little bit too excited when we talk about the Ahsoka show. Rebels is just that good. Rebels is just that good. So having all those characters come into live action is going to be amazing. When you talk about who's your favorite Star Wars character, I get that question asked all the time in the DMs and stuff like that. Are you crazy? That girl's super hot. I get that question all the time in my DMs on Instagram is, who is your favorite Star Wars character? And obviously I can't give one. There's way too many. They're all amazing and it changes all the time. But usually at the top of that list, top 5, top 3, whatever, is Ahsoka, is Ezra, is Maul, is Anakin. Usually those 4 interchangeable in that top 5-ish category, depending on how I feel. But it's always Ezra and Ahsoka are up in that list. Because Ahsoka, I mean, come on, she's got 7 seasons in the Clone Wars. Her story arc from being an annoying little girl up until this awesome Jedi Master, leaves the Jedi Order, becomes this absolute badass when she becomes a gray Jedi. Then you have her in Rebels and the whole story arc there. Then she comes into live action and she's badass and Luke Soaker for life and all that stuff. Then you have Ezra freaking Bridger. There's only 4 seasons of Ezra in the Clone War, in Rebels. He's a lot like Ahsoka, where he starts off kind of annoying, but even when he is annoying, he's like a smuggler type kid. On Lothal, his parents fought the Empire. He was born the same day Luke and Leia were, and he's just cool. He's got some dark side to him. He's trained with Maul. He's trained with Kanan. It's so cool. And the fact that both of them are going to be in live action in a show together with Thrawn, with Anakin. I can't do it. I can't do it. All right, we're going to move on because I'm just getting way too excited here. I'm getting way too excited. What's after Ahsoka? Great question. So what's after the Ahsoka show? So this is going to be the Skeleton Crew show. So this right here is a nice man actor by the name of Jude Law. So the Skeleton Crew show, a lot still has to be revealed about what this show is about. But from what we've heard from leaks and rumors and all that stuff, is the majority of it is going to take place in the New Beyond, which is cool. And it's going to be an adventure of kids. It's going to be a lot like Stranger Things. And Jude Law is going to be like the father figure, or like the adult in the room, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be mostly around these kids. And I think they're trying to play off of the success that Stranger Things had, which is smart. I mean, really smart. Because Stranger Things is like one of the biggest show on Netflix, maybe? Squid Games, maybe? It's unbelievably huge, and it's so successful. So the fact that they could bring in these kid characters, again, if they're kids during the Mando timeline, they could exist past the sequels and be main characters if people love them or what. And again, they're going to be new characters, and any of them could die because they have no story afterwards. I think the Skeleton Crew is going to be a lot better than most people believe because of the fact that John Watts had the idea for it. Now, John Watts. Who's John Watts? Dun, dun, dun. Does anybody know who John Watts is? Somebody tell me. I'll pretend I'm stupid. Who's John Watts? Who's John Watts? Johnny Watts. And no, he's not the inventor of the Watt. No, he is not. Should I just rhyme the rest of the stream? Civil War Marvel, right? No. Incorrect. Wrong. You are wrong. But kind of close. He's the director. Nobody knows who John Watts is, for real. He is the director of all 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. All 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. He's the director of all 3. He is the man. The man, the myth, the legend. So here's where Skeleton Crew came from. Skeleton Crew was not planned at all. So when you talk about the Mandoverse being all planned out and stuff like that, it's really not. It kind of is. They probably have some basics in their minds, John and Dave, that is. Yeah, Florida, I'm sorry. I accidentally said Toby. They both start with T, okay? Tom Holland. But they don't really have like a set story. Stuff goes wrong. I mean, Gina Carano got fired. There goes the Rangers of the New Republic. That you'll never see that show. But So stuff happens. But Skeleton Crew is very strange. So John Watts, whilst working, it's a word, on Spider-Man No Way Home. Of course, Jon Favreau, who of course is one of the John and Dave, Jon Favreau is Happy Hogan in Marvel. And he is in Spider-Man No Way Home. So when they were on the set, John Watts said, I got this idea for a Star Wars show. And the pitch he gave him was the Skeleton Crew, a bunch of kids going on an adventure in Star Wars. Jude Law's involved. Maybe it wasn't Jude Law at the time, but, you know. And he pitched him the idea, and John said, look, me and Dave are trying to do something awesome in the Mandoverse. This sounds perfect. We're about to introduce this thing in the Ahsoka show called The New Beyond, blah-bitty-blue-bitty-blah, and this would be perfect. And just after that, being on the set, coming up with that idea, they said, we're going to streamline this thing. It's going to be boom, boom, boom. It was on the set of Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home came out about a year and a half ago at most. So the fact that this show is already going to come out this year is kind of crazy. They streamlined the hell out of this show because of the fact that it fits so perfectly in the timeline right after the Ahsoka show and before Mando Season 4 that it is going to be awesome. And the reason I know that is because of the story behind it. John Watts had the idea. Dave Filoni loved the idea. Jon Favreau loved the idea, brought it to Dave. They said, we need to put this in the timeline right now. It's the same story as The Mandalorian. Look, when you have a story that a creative absolutely loves and wants to create, The Mandalorian. Jon Favreau had the idea for The Mandalorian, brought it to his good old pal Dave Filoni, and they created the show The Mandalorian. Jon Favreau wanted to make this show. He really, really wanted to make this show. He loves this show and loves it real bad. When you have a show like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, that was supposed to be a movie, you bring in Joby Harold to write it, to turn it into a TV show, doesn't really care about the project, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to turn out the way it should. When you have a creative that actually really, 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 really loves the project he's working on, then you're going to get something great. And that's what I think the Skeleton Crew is going to do. I think it's going to recreate that first season of The Mandalorian and give us something really, really special in the Skeleton Crew. And I can't wait for it. At Star Wars Celebration next week, we are going to probably get a release date or at least a release time frame. I'm guessing November of this year. If the Ahsoka show is July, it's probably going to be somewhere around November, just because the Loki show is going to be in between those two for Marvel. So I'm guessing Skeleton Crew will be later in the year and probably take us into the next year. But it's going to be good. I mean, it's going to be real good, and I absolutely can't wait. And yes, Star Wars Celebration is going to give us those announcements. It really is. It's going to give us probably a release date for that show, and yes, probably a cast. They might bring up the cast onto the stage. We might be introduced to those set of kids or teenagers, whatever they are, that are going to be the lead roles in that show. And of course, Jude Law, I'm sure they'll bring out onto stage as well. It's going to be a lot of fun next weekend, and I think the Skeleton Crew show is going to surprise a lot of people. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. All right, I got some chats to catch up on before we move on. Mr. Sean 2000 says, the Rex Ahsoka duo is S tier. Yeah, in the Clone Wars, it really is, and even in Rebels. Swagger Like Us says, Ahsoka's arc is my current favorite Star Wars storyline too. Exactly. And the Ahsoka show's just going to keep pushing it from there. Honey Badger says, I'm so hyped for all of it. It's gonna be insane. Same. Curious to see what her story goes and ends. Skeleton Crew is gonna be good. Florida Sucks says, I have a feeling Skeleton Crew will be a surprise hit. The standards won't be so high. That is possible. When you think about The Mandalorian, people are so hyped for it because the second season was that good. It was that good. So the third season, people have very high expectations. With the Ahsoka show, people's expectations are just high because the leaks are insane and it's gonna be insane. But what Florida Sucks is trying to say here is Skeleton Crew is gonna be a big hit because nobody expects it to be. And that's kind of a good thing to kind of just be laying low, having no expectations, and then hitting it out of the park. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Swagger Like Us says, glad it's an original story set in a new area never explored in Star Wars. Perfect. That is exactly what I'm saying. The Ahsoka show is going to introduce us to this new beyond, but probably not explore it all that much. Then the Skeleton Crew show is going to come out and explore the hell out of it and really explain what this new beyond really, really is. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. Florida Sucks says, you better not get those Spidey names mixed up. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Swagger Like Us says, great stories are created via passion projects. Passion project. I.e. a great idea, concept, and creative vision. Well, the sequels weren't. Yeah. So I said the Obi-Wan Kenobi show as my example. The sequels are a perfect example. You had J.J. Abrams come in and be told to make something that would make them money. So he kind of just made a carbon copy of A New Hope, switched some things around, and The Force Awakens is good. It sets up Luke and all that stuff. Then The Last Jedi, again, no plan at all. No plan. No plan. You ask Rian Johnson, no plan. No plan. And then J.J. Abrams had to come in and clean up the work in the third one, and it was just, you know what happened with the sequels. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, is a good project is going to be a passion project, like Swagger Like Us is saying, like The Mandalorian, and probably like the Skeleton Crew show as well. Honey Badger says, The Mandalorian is just a masterpiece. I'm so hyped for Celebration. Yeah, am I getting you guys hyped for Celebration? Because I'm getting myself really, really excited for Star Wars Celebration. I literally looked, I was like, I'm going to do a stream on Saturday. But here's the thing. Our streams have been Tuesday, predict the next episode of The Mandalorian and the next episode of The Bad Batch, but no longer. The next episode of The Mandalorian. And, of course, talking about the news that happened over the weekend. Then, Thursday, we break it down and talk about the other news that happened over those last 2 days and predict what's going to happen in the next episode. So I was like, well, what am I going to talk about on Saturday? And then I was like, hold up. Star Wars Celebration is next week. I feel like nobody's talking about it. It's next weekend. Like, next weekend. Like, it's not in a couple months. It's next weekend, which is crazy. Swagger Like Us says, Lucas has an original trilogy written before he pitched it to Fox. George Lucas had an original trilogy written before he... Oh, yeah, no, that's passion. No, I get you. Yeah. I get you. Yeah. So George's original draft of Star Wars was so long that he broke it into 3 parts, and that was the original trilogy. Of course, a lot of the story probably changed from just writing it and rewriting it, but yeah. Honey Badger says the Mando started off slow. I said it was a building season. It's going to lead into an insane season 4. It is possible, but here's the thing. Swagger Like Us just said that the next episode, episode 6, is going to be directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, so get hyped. So although season 3 might be setting up an epic season 4, it doesn't mean season 3 can't be epic. And I think these last 3 episodes are just going to step it up and really just be great. Florida Sucks says, I didn't even know it was that soon. Me either. What? Oh, Star Wars Celebration. You got to be more specific with your chats, okay? I'm talking about a lot of stuff up here, guys. Yeah, Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, it's next week. I feel like nobody knows that. So I had to tell you guys. It's next week. It's next week. Next week. It's next week. So what is after the Skeleton Crew show? So that's this year. That's it. That's this year. You got the rest of Mando. You got Young Jedi Adventure. This is just for TV shows. Star Wars Visions Season 2, the Ahsoka show, and Skeleton Crew show. That is the rest for Star Wars this year. But what's after this year? What is next? Swagger Like Us says, can't wait for the Ahsoka teaser, but I believe it won't be streamed. Here's the thing. So I think that trailer will be released to the public, a lot like the Mandalorian trailer was. But yeah, a lot of the panels aren't being streamed, but there's going to be like a live stream there. It's not just not going to be streamed at all. There will be a stream. There will be a stream. I'll be covering it. Maybe we'll just do some really long live streams next weekend. What do we think? Should we do that? Just cover Celebration just live? What do we think? So after Skeleton Crew, after the end of this year, what comes next? The Acolyte. So the Acolyte show has a loaded cast. I mean, when you talk about Star Wars, they usually don't bring in big names. They don't. Pedro Pascal obviously was kind of a big name when he came in for Mando. But when you talk about like the original trilogy, even the sequel trilogy, they didn't try and bring in any big names. Daisy Ridley's not a big name. Adam Driver was not a big name. Even John Boyega, not a big name. But they did it with the prequels too. Like that is Star Wars. They don't bring in big names. It's supposed to be a fictional character that you don't really know. The Acolyte show kind of went a different way, with actors and actresses that we know, that have been in many things that we've seen before. Of course, you got X-23. Is it X-23? You got Wolverine's daughter. You got the guy from Squid Games. And others. Off the top of my head, I don't know what any of these other people are in. But it's a pretty loaded cast, and from the leaked images and all this other stuff, it looks really, really good. Now, I'm sure we'll get a release time frame for this, maybe a release date. Maybe they'll say like in February of next year or something like that. I think it will come out around the same time that The Mandalorian came out this year, maybe a little bit earlier in that February time frame. But yeah, I definitely think that the Acolyte show is coming out next year, but really early on in next year. And I think it's going to be really, really good. It's our first live action project that takes place before The Phantom Menace. And it's about 100 years or 150. Is it 100 or 150 years before The Phantom Menace? And it's going to be the High Republic, and our first time going into the High Republic in live action. And it's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for this show. You got this guy, Li Jiang-Cha, as a Jedi. I think that guy is going to be an Acolyte or a Sith of some sort. He's going to be a Jedi, I believe. She is the main character, Amanda Steinberg. And you got bounty hunters, you got Jedi, you got Sith, and all that stuff. Just a baseline story of this, at least as far as we know, is Amandla is going to be playing twins, or not twins. It's a sister and sister, and one of them is older, and that's her. So when the Jedi come in to save their village, which is being ravaged by these pirates or whatever you want to call them, the Jedi save them, and they say, "We'll protect you as long as we get to take your Force-sensitive children." And they agree, and her younger sister gets taken, but not her. She is Force-sensitive, but she's too old to be a Jedi. So they don't take her, and then when the pirates come back, the Jedi aren't there to save them. And then a Sith Lord comes up and saves them, and we don't know who that Sith Lord's going to be. Maybe Plagueis. I really hope it's Plagueis, but we don't really know yet. I doubt it's going to be Plagueis, sadly. But it's going to be a Sith Lord of some sort, and Amanda Steinberg is going to be the Acolyte, or one of the Acolytes of the Sith, and she's going to... It's going to be a Sith-centered show, which is going to be awesome. Like, absolutely awesome. I can't wait for this show, honestly. Like, when you talk about hype level, we talked about how Skeleton Crew is kind of riding under the radar. This one keeps growing even bigger in my mind. The closer and closer we get to this one, and the more and more we find out about it, the set leaks that we got about with this show. We had Wookiee Jedi in High Republic robes, which are like gold and white, and they look sick. You had other Jedi, and you had first looks at like Amanda's character and stuff like that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. It's gonna be real good. Is there any excitement for the Acolyte show? Are we excited for the Acolyte show? Honey Badger says Acolyte better be good. I'm also excited for it. Skipping everything other than Andor, Florida sucks. April Fools, this is the way. Oh, April Fools, by the way. Yeah. No, I wouldn't put it past you to skip everything but Andor. We'll get to Andor Season 2 and when I think that it's going to come out as well. But yeah, Andor 2 is still coming. I know. Crazy, right? Swagger Like Us says, I want Tales of the Jedi Season 2 announced at Celebration. So there is a possibility of that at the end of what we know is coming. The shows we know are coming. I have a possibilities list. Look, so I do live stream topics, of course. I write them down in my notebook. But it's usually just the one page, and I just talk about the topics. But I had to go front and back today because there's a ton of projects we got to talk about. But yeah, there's some possibility topics that we'll get to after we go over all the ones that we know about. But yeah, one of them is definitely Tales of the Jedi Season 2. Honey Badger says, yeah, we definitely need a Tales of the Jedi Season 2. Exactly. Honey Badger follows up and says, a Sith-centered show? I did not know that. Yes, it's Sith-centered. The Acolytes of the Sith. That is what they are. Acolyte teaser is needed at Celebration. That could be a thing that they like only see at Star Wars Celebration, which we kind of stink that we wouldn't be able to see it, but it will probably be leaked on like Reddit and whatever, so we might be able to get our eyes on that. But yeah, I definitely think they could get a teaser trailer there. They will bring up the cast like they do with most of the shows, bring up the cast, because I mean the cast has already been released, so it's going to be something like that. Honey Badger says, no way, no way, no way, no way. I'm 10 times more hyped for it. Just better not be Reva trash. I'd like to say that Disney learned their lesson from Reva, but I don't know. Maybe the Acolyte could suck. You never know. You never know. You never know with Lucasfilm. And here's the problem with the Acolyte. It's not in the Mandalorian time frame. It's not like the Skeleton Crew where Dave and John will have their eyes on it. They'll be on set. The Acolyte's just gonna be like Leslie Headland is the showrunner. Dave and John won't be there. Sure, maybe Dave Filoni, whatever his position even is at Lucasfilm nowadays, maybe he has like some sort of say over what goes on, but he's not going to be involved with that show. The Acolyte is going to be a non-John and Dave show, and it's going to be the first one since Andor. and we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. I don't know. Honey Badger says, that's why I'm nervous. John and Dave won't be there. I feel like it will be a Kenobi-type show. I just hope it doesn't come to that. Here's the thing. If the Acolyte show is really good, though, if it's really, really good, though, then it will be great news for Star Wars fans because it's something that John and Dave weren't involved in, and it is good. That's what we need. We need more people to actually just be okay creating without John and Dave. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult. So I really hope the Acolyte show does that and gives us hope for other creatives other than just John and Dave. Swagger Like Us says, Tar Vizsla Tales of the Jedi anthology chapter would be great for Season 2. Tar Vizsla, now you're speaking my language. Tar Vizsla in Season 2 of Tales of the Jedi. Somebody write that down. Send it in a letter to Lucasfilm every day for the next 3,000 days, and maybe we'll get it. Agreed. It's also like if it's good, it gives us hope. 50-50 shot. True. Exactly. But what comes after the Acolyte show? So it does seem like, at least from the last announcements that we had at D23 back in September, that was it. That was the end of the announcements. It was the Andor, it was Tales of the Jedi, it was Bad Batch, it was Mando, it was Ahsoka, it was Skeleton Crew, and then it was the Acolyte show, and that was it. But now a new day has dawned, and there are more projects to come after the Acolyte show. So now we're kind of getting into more of a speculatory area, but here is what I think. After the Acolyte show comes Mando Season 4. Now, John and Dave, or Dave Filoni at least, I'm sorry, Jon Favreau at least, was talking about this in an interview recently that Season 4 is ready to go. It's almost all written. The episodes have all been written. So they're going to start filming at the end of this year, or in the fall of this year, I should say. Meaning that it could come out as soon as next year. Here's the thing. When they took off 2 years the viewership fell drastically. And they noticed that. They see these things. You may think that they're dumb, but they see these things. So a season 4 could be right around the corner. And you think, oh, if it starts in fall, how could it possibly be ready for next year? The Mandalorian season 2 started filming as soon as The Mandalorian season 1 ended, and it was in January of 2020 maybe, in January. And that show came out in October of that same year. So yeah, it's like 7-8 months. Like, it's, the post-production is going to take a while, but it's like 7, 8, maybe 9 months. So if they start in the fall, if they film in the fall, and let's say they're done filming in November, something along those lines, then you got November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June-ish. That's 8 months. That's the 8-month mark. So you could be getting The Mandalorian as the Ahsoka show. Like the Ahsoka show this year is in that summertime period. That could be when you're getting The Mandalorian season 4, which is awesome, because it could be very, very, very soon. And we don't know where the Mando season 4 is going to go, because we don't know what the end of season 3 looks like yet. But I think it will be very, very exciting, and I think it will be awesome, and hopefully involve Grand Admiral Thrawn, involve the Empire, involve cloning still, have Grogu using the Force better, have Din maybe and Bo-Katan ruling Mandalore together. Hopefully. You never know. But I do think that The Mandalorian season 4 will be what's coming after the Acolyte show next year. And honestly, 2024 could be insane, because this lineup, I mean, there could be some bangers in here, because we talked about, all right, we'll keep going. So The Mandalorian season 4 could be what's next. But what's after that? Again, we are just kind of predicting what could be next. You never know about like a possible Book of Boba Fett season 2. We'll get into that in a second, but you never know. So what I think is most likely to be next is The Bad Batch season 3. So we just finished The Bad Batch season 2. Obviously, we're getting a third season. It's without a doubt we're getting a third season. Omega's on Mount Tantus. Tech might be dead. We don't know if he's actually dead. Crosshair's on Mount Tantus. And Wrecker, Hunter, and Echo gotta go get Omega back. So it's going to be very interesting to see when The Bad Batch season 3 comes out. We don't know if they're working on it now. There really has been no word about this third season yet. But I'm really hoping that it comes out sooner than we expect. And maybe it is the summer show for next year. You have to remember, The Bad Batch season 1 was that summer show in 2022 or whatever it was, 2021, whatever it was. So it was just like all summer Bad Batch, 16 weeks. It started like May the 4th or something of that year and just pushed through the whole summer. It was 16 weeks long. And maybe they'll shorten it like they did the second season, where they did doubled up episodes, which were actually really cool. But I do think that the Bad Batch season 2 will come out next year, which is very, very exciting, because now you're talking about Acolyte, Mando season 4, and the Bad Batch season 3. But then what's after that? Well, here is where you get into some choppy waters, because some fans might be a little bit upset. The Andor show. Andor season 2. So here's the thing. It's possible that we get Andor next year, but I think it could even be pushed into 2025. If it does come out next year, it will be a fall release. It will be a later in the year released show, because of what Tony Gilroy has told us. Tony Gilroy is the showrunner for this show, and he said they're on the same time frame as the first season was. And the first season took a long time. But the first season was of a very high quality. Visuals wise, CGI wise, and all that other stuff. It was of a high quality, so if they take their time with it, we're not going to be complaining if we're watching the Skeleton Crew, if we're watching the Ahsoka show, if we're watching the Acolyte show, if we're watching Mando season 4, and getting extremely hyped about Star Wars, and then we get the Andor show. We won't be like, oh, we missed the Andor show. Like, we'll have stuff to occupy our time with while we wait for the second season of the Andor show. Now, I know a lot of people are really, really, really excited for Andor season 2, and I don't blame you, because a lot of people really, really enjoyed that first season. Now, I really, really enjoyed that first season when I was watching it. Here's the thing with the Andor show. The further and further we get away from that first season, the more and more I'm like, okay, maybe I was just like that excited because it was the only Star Wars content coming out. I remember when Tales of the Jedi came out. When Tales of the Jedi came out in the middle of that season, all I wanted to do was talk about the Tales of the Jedi. I was so excited for the Tales of the Jedi. It was some of the best Star Wars that Disney Star Wars has ever given us, and it was so good. Whilst the Andor show was coming out at the same time. And it kind of just put a damper on the Andor show for me. And now the further and further we get away from the Andor show, I'm like, what was that guy doing? Oh, he was eating cereal with his mom, and then they made cereal bars out about it? What was going on in that show? Kino Loy couldn't swim? Couldn't drag him to safety? Just trying to piss off some Andor fans. No, but yeah, no, the Andor show, it's going, by the time the second season comes around, we'll be excited for it. We will be excited for it. And hopefully I'll be very excited for it. Flip the page. Oops, I flipped too many pages. Flip the page. Don't you hate it when your pages get stuck together? Pause. Next up, we have The Lando Show. Did everybody else's mouth just go like mine? The Lando Show. Anybody remember this? Remember when Kathleen Kennedy came up on stage and was like, oh yeah, we got the Lando Show. And then when somebody asked her about it last year at Star Wars Celebration, she was like, you got to go ask Donald Glover because he's busy all the time and can't play Lando anymore. It's quite frankly possible that we never get this show. It was announced in 2019, which was 4 years ago now. And we have yet to hear a single update about it except for when Kathleen Kennedy told us to ask Donald Glover ourselves. So what I did, I took it upon myself to call up my good friend Donald Glover. And what he told me was, Lando? He said, what the hell is that? I've never heard of it. Get out of my face. How did you get this number? And then the conversation went a little off topic. But the Lando Show. Do we ever actually think we're going to get this one? There were rumors that it was going to be like a story about Lando, and it was going to be like narrated by why am I blanking on Lando's actor's name? The older one, D. Bradley Baker. No, that's the clone guy. What the who plays Lando? Somebody please help me. But it was going to be narrated by him. And I don't know. The Lando Show. 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 I don't think we'll ever get it. I don't think we will ever get it. Ever. And it's sad because honestly, what do you guys think about the Solo movie? Solo, a Star Wars story. What do you guys think about that movie? Because honestly, Disney will blame it for everything because it performed a little poorly, and that's the reason they stopped making those offshoot movies, but they don't realize that The Last Jedi was really what made that happen. But the Solo movie was not that bad. It definitely wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. It was good. It had the Crimson Dawn. It had Darth Maul, and it made us want more. Something that Disney has really, really struggled to do. Make us want more. And here's the thing. The Lando Show was going to give us that more. It was going to just be Lando and no Han Solo and all that stuff. But it should have been more. Should have been more. Honey Badger says, I need the Lando Show. Do you though? Do you really? Do you really need the Lando show? Do you really need the Lando show? I hope so. I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool, the Lando show. It would be kind of cool, but here's the thing. It's never going to happen. Unless Kathleen Kennedy is just booted. Here's the thing. There are a lot of rumors that Star Wars Celebration is going to be like the last hurrah for Kathleen Kennedy, and like almost immediately after Star Wars Celebration, she's just going to get canned. And I really hope those rumors are true. But as long as Kathleen Kennedy's sitting out there going, oh, ask Donald Glover. Ask Donald Glover. He'll tell you how it goes. We're never getting the Lando show. It's not going to happen. It's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Mr. Sean says, Boba Season 2 will be the best Star Wars ever. He said April Fools, but here's the thing. If you're talking about a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, that introduces the Crimson Dawn, brings Kiara back, Amelia Clark comes back. You have ties to Darth Maul. You have ties to maybe Mace Windu. You have ties to all this other stuff. Don't joke about that kind of stuff, Mr. Sean. The Book of Boba Fett Season 2 could be the best Star Wars we've ever got. Honey Badger says Solo was okay. Not bad, just not good. Yeah, I see that. I see it. Florida Sucks says Solo was criminally, and this guy lives in Florida, criminally underrated. It's definitely underrated. It's not better than like Rogue One or anything like that, but it is a Solo movie. It's a movie about the origins of Han Solo. What do you expect? The fact that we got a cool character in Woody Harrelson's character, the fact that we got Amelia Clark's character, we got the Crimson Dawn, we got Darth Maul in there. It is criminally underrated. Factual statement. Swagger Like Us says, Andor was a dream. Saw Rogue One 3 times in IMAX, and Solo was cool. Andor was a dream. That is the perfect way to put it. It was a dream. People were so hyped up on that show when it was coming out, myself included. Honestly, if you go watch some of my videos back about the Andor show, I was way more hyped than I really should have been. Solo was good, but Maul was great. Mr. Sean 2000, quote of the year. Maul in that movie just like makes the movie. It makes the movie. Talk about a cameo doing wonders. Yeah. Swagger Like Us says, Solo should have been a live-action series. That was the thing, though. They hadn't done a Disney Plus show before that. If The Mandalorian came out before the Solo show, then maybe the Solo movie might have been a series, and it would have been a lot better. Imagine a Crimson Dawn show with Maul and Amelia Clark's character. Like, what? In the underworld of Star Wars? Honey Badger says, it was okay. You know, the Solo actor was a good actor. He's just not Han Solo. It is something you have to kind of just get past. But the fact that he was so much younger kind of just made it easier, I guess. I would rather a deep-faked Harrison Ford. Yes, I would rather. Honey Badger says, too bad Maul died in Rebels. It is too bad Maul died in Rebels, but the way he died was perfect. Perfection. He his storyline ends with Kenobi. The same way it began with Kenobi, it ends with Kenobi. Swagger Like Us says, true. Mr. Sean says, that would be epic. A Crimson Dawn show, it would be epic. Florida Sucks says, I just saw someone on Facebook predict that the Book of Boba Fett has Moff Gideon in custody. I'm making a video on that right now, and Boba Fett never crossed my mind once when I made that video. It was who took Moff Gideon. It never crossed my mind once. Why? Why in the world would Boba Fett, the guy who was in the Sarlacc pit and hanging out with the Tusken Raiders, why on earth would that guy ever want anything to do with Moff Gideon? It makes no sense. It's dumb. It's stupid, and it's dumb. Stupid and dumb. Stupid and dumb. Yeah, it makes no sense. But yeah, I do have a video coming out on that tomorrow, probably around 3 or 4 o'clock. I'll post something about it. But yeah, we got a video coming out about who saves Moff Gideon, or at least who I think saves Moff Gideon. Swagger Like Us says Crimson Dawn series would have been unreal. It still could happen. It still could happen. They're doing a whole Crimson Dawn thing in the comics, but there are rumors, like if the Crimson Dawn came into the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, if there was a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, why not? Why not give the Crimson Dawn their own show? Why not? Honey Badger says it was an amazing death. It was like poetry. Yeah, you talk about one of the greatest lightsaber duels of all time is that Twin Sons Maul vs. Obi-Wan. And it is the quickest, most simple lightsaber duel. Like, it happens like that. But there's just, like, obviously Revenge of the Sith, Anakin vs. Obi-Wan, is the best lightsaber duel. And it's the longest, it's the coolest, there's all the flips, there's all the cool whatevers. It's awesome. But the fact that this one, so simple, so poetic, so awe-inspiring, this Maul versus Obi-Wan, old hermit Obi-Wan in the sands of Tatooine, is just perfection. And it's animated, it's in Star Wars Rebels. Dave Filoni's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. The GOAT. Florida Sucks says it does some dumb. Mr. Mrs. Sean 2000 says maybe he accepted a rare bounty job to raise capital for something to help the community. Sounds a little far-fetched. Maybe Boba has like a change of heart thing, going on. It is that time at the 56-minute mark or 30-second mark. It's like I store this thing over there. It's like I have to reach so far for it. Like, who holds a cup like this? Boba has just gotten to a point where he's the mayor now. He's too cool for school. And he doesn't seem to want to go back to bounty hunting. And I don't think anything will really make him go back to that at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Good cups follow orders. Exactly. And this is the best cup. But with all that being said, what else could we possibly see after the Lando show? Now, we talked about some of these already, but the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. There is a lot of potential with a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Now, I still do believe that Boba Fett will be in The Mandalorian Season 3, and I think he will come in and be a major role in the end of this season, but I think it also could set up a second season for his own show. Now, Fennec and Boba, what they're doing on Tatooine, so much could happen. We're talking about the Crimson Dawn possibly could come in. You're talking about maybe another criminal organization, or even the Hutts, and you have Nal Hutta, and you have all this other cool stuff be played out with a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. I think a Book of Boba Fett Season 2 would be accepted by the fans, unlike this next one. Unlike a Kenobi Season 2. A Kenobi Season 2 would not only be a disaster, it would be a really stupid and dumb idea. It would be stupid and dumb. It would be really stupid and dumb. And we know that Disney tends to be stupid and dumb sometimes, but this one would be just really, 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 really dumb. Now, some people are like, oh, maybe a second season could make the first season better. Why did I sound like Barack Obama? But, jeez. But, whoa, what happened? They really wanted us to zoom in on Vader. Hang on. But here's the thing with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. If there were to be a second season, it would have to... No, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is no second season ever in this show. It will never happen. It should never happen, and it won't ever happen. This show does not deserve, does not need, does not want, does not desire a second season because of the fact that it did its job. The first season of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show answered all of the unanswered questions that happen in A New Hope. All the lines that Vader says. I haven't sensed this since, and he walks away. The last time we faced Obi-Wan, whatever he says. Can't think of it off the top of my head. But all those lines are answered with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. The rematch of the century was awesome. You had Reva, you had all that other stuff, whatever. You had a young Leia, which gets saved by Ben Kenobi. So now she names her kid Ben. Makes sense. All this stuff answers every single question. And there is no second season. There was no lead into a second season. It was perfect. Obviously, the show was not perfect at all, but the ending to that show was perfect. And there is no second season. None. None. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't tell me that anything could happen at all, because from the end of that Obi-Wan Kenobi show, when we see him walking away on that camel-looking thing to Qui-Gon, to when he kills Maul in the desert, he never leaves Tatooine once, and he trains the entire time and looks over Luke. You can't tell me otherwise, because you'd be wrong. You would be wrong. You would be wrong. But somebody, please try to argue with me. Swagger Like Us says, Tales of the Sith, Darth Bane. That would be wild. Florida Sucks. Sorry, Swagger Like Us said that. Florida Sucks says, Jar Jar, easy for me to say, Jar Jar trilogy, please. A Jar Jar trilogy would be insane. It would be the coolest Star Wars content we've ever seen. No, I'm kidding. But just a Jar Jar appearance in something would be cool. Like maybe Bad Batch Season 3 in animation. Honey Badger says, I really need a Book of Boba Fett Season 2 done right. Bring back Savage Bounty Hunter Boba. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Boba's story has gone to a point where he survived the Sarlacc pit, survived a near-death experience, trained with the Tusken Raiders on Tatooine for a while, and this is where he is. This is who he is. This is how he is. This is what he is. So maybe he can be a little more savage, but he's not going to go back to bounty hunting, definitely, for sure. And he's going to be more of a leader type guy. That's just the Boba we have now. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but that's the answer. That's the answer I'm giving you, and I'm sticking to it. Mr. Sean 2000 says, I could see Vader spin-off show off of Kenobi. Vader show would be kind of cool. A Vader show would be cool. Him just killing a bunch of people around the galaxy, doing missions for Palpatine, all that stuff would be cool. Yeah, would be cool. Florida Sucks says, Honey Badger says, the ending of Kenobi was beautiful. The rest was Exactly. The ending was almost perfect in how it deserved to be, and that's how it deserves to stay. Don't ruin it with the second season by just adding in crazy stuff. Florida Sucks says, Jar Jar and Rose Tico crossover directed by Rian Johnson. You're just asking to make $3 billion on a movie. You're just asking to break all the records in the world. There is some news about Rian Johnson. We'll get to that when we get to the movie section, but we're still going over the shows, by the way. I know. We're an hour in. We're still going over shows. But we are almost done with the shows. We are done with the shows. There is one more thing with the shows. I don't have it pulled up here because there's no concept art or anything for it. The Luke, Leia, and Han short films on Disney+. Now, this is rumored to be announced at Star Wars Celebration next week. And this would just be so cool. So cool. Luke, Leia, Han, the main characters of the original trilogy. A series of short films on Disney+ that follow those three characters in between the time of 6 and 7. In between the time of 6 and 7. How freaking cool would that be? I mean, come on. Mr. Sean says, the fake Padme comic series in live action would be great. The fake Padme? The what? Oh, when she pretends to be like the queen or whatever? Or the fake Padme? Yeah, I know what you mean. The Honey Badger says, so you're telling me Boba will die a happy old man clone? No. I bet you Boba dies in a fight against Thrawn. In a big climactic event. He is the Iron Man of Endgame. Boba Fett. I can see that. Florida Sucks says, we need to see the old trio back on the screen together. Exactly. The one thing the sequels failed I mean, a million things. The biggest thing the sequels failed to do was put the three main characters, Luke, Leia, and Han, on screen at the same time together. They failed miserably. Miserably. So seeing a show about the three of them, even just a short film on Disney Plus, would be awesome. Let's go to video games. So those are all the shows that we could expect to get announced or are going to get announced. What we're going to get for those, maybe their release dates, maybe their trailers, who knows? We'll find out next week at Star Wars Celebration. But we will get some video game also announcements at Star Wars Celebration as well, because this video game comes out on April 28th. April 28th. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Has anybody pre-ordered this game? Or does anybody, already have this game ready to go? April 28th. We are in April right now. So it's only 27 days away. Just a few more weeks until this game comes out. Now, a lot of speculation still going around about this game. Who the hell is that guy in the back to tank? Is he a High Republic Jedi for real? And are we going to the High Republic? Are we going to the New Beyond? The New Beyond in this game. I made a whole video about it last week about the possibility of Cal Kestis actually mentioning the New Beyond in the trailer. But I can't wait for this game. This game's going to be so freaking good. I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's literally going to just be insane. It's going to be so good. And I can't wait for it. Cal Kestis, of course, being the GOAT that he is, hopefully coming into live action at some point, sometime soon. Maybe in the Skeleton Crew show. Maybe in the Ahsoka show. You never know. But yeah, Cal Kestis is coming for sure into live action at some point. And I do think that this game will set up a third game as well. But this is the first game, and we'll definitely get an announcement of some sort at Star Wars Celebration next week. But this game comes out on April 28th. April 28th. Very, very exciting. We do have some other video games that could be announced. Maybe we'll get some updates about. Maybe. But all these games are kind of like either early in production or we haven't really heard word on it, and maybe they're canceled, or we don't know what's going on. But these are the games. Knights of the Old Republic, the remake. Well, this is cut off, but you know. There we go. Knights of the Old Republic remake. So it was said that they were remaking this game, obviously, and then it just kind of halted, and we didn't really get anything about it. For a long, long time. And it was kind of like, okay, well, what now? And still nothing. So hopefully next week we get some sort of announcement, whether it's not being made anymore or we're still working hard on it or whatever it is. Hopefully we get some sort of inkling about this game next week, because I know, and I'm going to go to the chat right now, I know people are excited for this game. Knights of the Old Republic, the original games, oh my god, they're so good. Honey Badger says, I need it. Jedi Survivor is going to be awesome. Too much to pre-order, but I'll buy once it releases. Mr. Sean says, I got to finish the first game before I get the new game. You still haven't finished that game, Mr. Sean? Come on. Jedi Survivor is great. I'm replaying it right now to get ready. Yeah, I'm actually... I started replaying it on stream, but whatever. A KOTOR game would be sick. And it's not just a KOTOR game, it's a KOTOR, easy for me to say, remake. It's a remake of the first game, but it's a canonized remake. So some stuff will be changed, but it will be canon to Star Wars, meaning the Knights of the Old Republic, meaning the Old Republic in general, is coming to canon. Darth Revan's coming to canon. And all those other characters that exist in that Old Republic world are going to be coming to canon, and hopefully we'll get there in the Star Wars timeline, in live action, on Disney Plus, in movies, all of that stuff. And this game hopefully will be the start. Honey Badger says, never played the original game, but I hope they remake it. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. They're remaking the original game. And he said, yeah, you should stream it too. I have, if you scroll back on the live streams, I did a Saturday night live stream of me playing through Jedi Fallen Order. And it went okay. I'll probably do it again. Probably do it again. But we do have a few other games to talk about. Anybody remember this? Anybody remember this? This banger? Star Wars Eclipse. They just dropped a absolute banger of a trailer, and we haven't heard anything since. Anything. Haven't heard a single peep since. The trailer was so unbelievably good that it was just like mind-blowingly good. And we haven't heard a single thing since. Maybe they were saying like 2026. That's insanity. That's so far away. But this trailer was like, I kind of want to watch the trailer right now. Like, should we watch the trailer right now? Should we watch the trailer? Should we watch the trailer right now? Should we watch the trailer right now? Should we? All right. We're gonna watch the trailer. We're gonna watch the trailer right now. We're gonna watch the trailer. Let's watch the trailer. Why not? Let's watch the trailer. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. YouTube. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Star Wars Eclipse trailer. So obviously we'll mute it so we don't get copy struck, because that's always fun. Yeah, this trailer was absolutely insane. I remember when it came out, the second it came out, I was like, I gots to make a video about this. It was so unbelievably cool. Yeah, this guy, weird dude, looks like an orc, banging a drum. Of course, an eclipse happening. But this game was supposed to be like open world, like crazy stuff like that. But this trailer was so unbelievably hype. Got a guy banging a drum. But visually, I mean, it looks stunning. And then they were like, yeah, that game is never coming. Probably in like 20 years. Got some nice space rocks. Now, this game looks absolutely stunning. You got a plane crashing here, a ship crashing here. I mean, look at that. We don't know what planet this is. It was supposed to take place, I believe, before The Phantom Menace as well, but they didn't really tell us when. It's just a cool planet with a bunch of different characters. You got a Cad Bane looking dude. I forget what's the species name? That was supposed to be like a playable character. You got this cool shot of a speeder going across there. You got Yoda and the frickin' Jedi Temple on Corsa. You got this C-3PO looking dude. I mean, this looks unreal. This looks unreal. You got lightsaber duels on a cool whatever. You got a place with the new Naboo cruiser right there. N1 Starfighter. You guys catch that? N1 Starfighter, boom, right there. Din Djarin's ship. When it came out, it wasn't Din Djarin's ship when this trailer came out. These guys banging the drums. I mean, this game looks unbelievably good. Got Newt Gunray or something looks like Newt Gunray. I mean, like, come on. Come on. This game looks insane. Insane. Trade Federation ships. Like, you can't drop a trailer like this and not give us any updates. This is the coolest trailer for any video game I've ever seen in my entire life. It's Voldemort. It's Voldemort. He doesn't have a nose. Then he comes out of the water, but we don't have to watch that. That's creepy. But yeah, no, that's the, yo, look, it's my stream. Should we click on it? Yeah, no, that trailer is unbelievable. Like, unbelievably good. Like, unbelievably good. Honey Badger says, oh yeah, Eclipse, what happened to it? Nothing. Literally nothing. We've heard nothing. Brother Mike, when Star Wars Eclipse make release date? I don't know. I'm hoping at least like 2026 at the latest. I hope we get some sort of announcement. Would be nice. Honey Badger says, beautiful trailer. It's incredible. Swagger Like Us says, Cal Kestis' story deserves a live action debut. I do believe that we will get Cal Kestis in live action this year. This year. Either in Ahsoka or in Skeleton Crew. And the more I think about it, the more likely I think it is Skeleton Crew. As Honey Badger just says, I think he'll be in Ahsoka, but I think he will be in Skeleton Crew just because like Skeleton Crew isn't going to really have all that much hype around it, and I think it will be very, very good. But if you throw in Cal Kestis, that show will explode bigger than the freaking universe. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. Wait for it. Sane. All right, now we do have one other game, two other games. One other game, two other games. We got two other video games to talk about here. And then we'll get into the movies. The Ubisoft game. So Ubisoft is making, or Ubisoft, whatever you call it. Ubisoft, I'm calling it Ubisoft from now on. Ubisoft is making an open world Star Wars game. Now we don't know what it's going to be about. We don't know when it's going to take place. We don't know anything really about this game at all, except that Ubisoft is making it and it's open world. And I can't wait. And I hope we get more announcements about it at Star Wars Celebration next week. Maybe some plot or anything would be nice. But we'll see. Hopefully next week we get some announcements on that. And the last video game is a Jedi Fallen Order third one. Maybe we'll get some announcement on this, but the creator of the game has said many, many times that he wants it to be a trilogy and he wants it to be 3 separate games. Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, and then Jedi something. And maybe he will come into live action and then that game will take place after his live action appearance. So maybe that game will take place in like a Mandoverse time period. Like there's a 5-year gap, I think, or is it 10-year gap? What's the 5-year gap in between Fallen Order and Survivor? I think there could be a way bigger gap in between 2 and 3, and 3 might actually take place in the Mandoverse, which would be so cool. Or maybe it takes place in the New Beyond, which would even be cooler. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do we think? Ubisoft has bangers. I'm so hyped for an open world game from them. Yeah, exactly. Swagger Like Us says, in the trailers, Cal Kestis mentions a place that nobody can find him, the New Beyond. Yes. No, I made a full video on that on Monday last week. Monday, maybe? Yeah, no. It's definitely, I think for sure that's what he's talking about. Like for sure. Like the New Beyond. That's where we're going in Survivor. And you're going to get to discover it yourself. Which I can't wait. He also follows up and says, Swagger Like Us says, Star Wars open world game sounds cool. I mean, it sounds epic. It sounds so cool. Honey Badger says, yes. That's where Grogu and Mando are, chilling with Cal in the New Beyond with old Ahsoka. Sign me up. Sign me the frick up. That would be unreal and so cool. Unreal. Unfreaking real. All right, let's get into some movie news. You want to hear some crazy movie news? All right, so we'll start off with the first movie that we know is getting announced for a title and a release date next week. That is the Stephen Knight Stephen Knight wrote Peaky Blinders. Stephen Knight written, Miss Marvel directed 2025 Star Wars film. We're going to get a title release next week. We're going to get a release date for it and probably like a plot or something along those lines. Maybe cast member announced or something like that. I don't know. Something cool is going to happen with this movie next week at Star Wars Celebration. And I really hope that we get some good news that gets people excited and maybe like actually gets people excited, because if they just hear that it happens after the sequel trilogy, which it is, it's going to be a post-sequel movie, then people are just going to just say no. They're going to check out. They're not even going to go watch the movie. If it's a post-sequel movie and sequel is even anywhere near this movie, it's not going to do well. It's not going to do well at all. Now, the big news is there was rumored that we were going to get 3 movies announced at Star Wars Celebration. Now, here is the thing. I'm going to go to this first. Florida Sucks says, I wouldn't mind seeing Cillian Murphy in Star Wars. Cillian Murphy is one of the most underrated actors of all time. Now, he is in Peaky Blinders. That's like 7 seasons. So he did spend a lot of time on that show. But I feel like he's not used enough. He's going to be in Oppenheimer this year. He was in Batman Begins. He was in Inception. But everything he's in, he is perfect in. And imagine him in Star Wars. Imagine him in Star Wars. That would be awesome. But no, so the three movies that were rumored to be announced at Star Wars Celebration, the new rumor, and I mean it's coming from insanely valid sources, is that this new 3 movies that are being announced next week are the Rian Johnson trilogy. Now, I know. Now, before you start boo-hooing and blue-hooing, the way that they're going to sell this to us is that Rian Johnson, they're going to say, look, we know they're not going to tell. They're literally not going to say The Last Jedi. They're not going to say anything about The Last Jedi. They're not going to say, we know we made a mistake with The Last Jedi. You'll never see Disney admit to that. But what they're going to do is spin it in a completely different way and say Rian is going to get a trilogy. And here's how I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it in either the Old Republic, and that is how they're going to win over fans, is it's the Old Republic, and they're going to just like hide Rian Johnson's name or something like that. But Rian Johnson will be involved. He will be directing these 3 movies. The only thing I can think that could be going through their heads at all is that Rian Johnson came to them with this fantastic idea, and maybe in the Old Republic, maybe in the High Republic, or maybe even in like hundreds of years past the sequel trilogy. I don't think they want him touching any of those characters because of what he did with The Last Jedi. I think it's just a stupid idea. But the fact that he's getting a trilogy at all, you might have riots next weekend at Star Wars Celebration. Here's the thing. Star Wars Celebration is filled with a lot of just Disneyers, like Disney family, Disney people. So like people won't get booed. People won't get like upset. Sure, the people who pay to be there can get upset and will be upset, like really upset. When they announce a freaking Rian Johnson trilogy after what he did with The Last Jedi is going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely wild. And here's the thing. We're going to cover all of Star Wars Celebration. But when Rian Johnson gets his trilogy, and if they bring him up on the stage and he doesn't get booed, here's the thing. All right. Rian Johnson getting a sequel or a trilogy at all, any time period, is the stupidest decision. It's stupid and dumb. It's stupid and dumb. And it's stupid and dumb. And it's stupid and dumb. Here's the thing. Swagger Like Us says, "Are you kidding me?" No, I'm not. And he says, "Kennedy," with poop emojis, smiling poop emojis. So Kathleen Kennedy, I think, is going to be gone after Star Wars Celebration, right? No Rian Johnson. That's the farthest thing from a good April Fool's, Mike. Ha ha ha. Damn, you caught me. Yeah, so there's no Rian Johnson trilogy. Thank God. I don't know. I thought I did pretty well with that. There's no Rian Johnson trilogy. So there are... How did you catch me? So there's no Rian Johnson trilogy, obviously. That is the stupidest... foot cramp! Foot cramp! Oh, that's what I deserve. I deserve that. Okay, there's no Rian Johnson trilogy, of course. That would be so dumb. And honestly, if that was true, by any means, if that was true, I would riot. I would fly to London and I would riot. But no, thank God that is... No, but there is a Rian Johnson trilogy. No, there isn't. At least not as of right now, okay? It won't be announced next week. It won't be announced next week. And it won't ever be announced because Rian Johnson is too busy with Glass Onion and with all these other things. You may get a Rian Johnson trilogy in like 20 years. But here's the thing. Rian Johnson is not coming anywhere close to Star Wars. And when Kathleen Kennedy is fired after next week, he will never come anywhere close to Star Wars ever again because of what he did with The Last Jedi. That's the thing. It's just not going to happen. That was a good try, though. You got my heart racing. I tried my best. But there is a Rian Johnson trilogy in the talks, but not confirmed. That was a 2016 report. And of course, Rian Johnson has claimed that he still wants to come back to Star Wars. But who gives a flying rat's ass what that guy wants? It's what we want as fans, and it's what Lucasfilm wants as a company. And I can guarantee you right now that they're not stupid enough to ever let that guy close to Star Wars again. I'll give you that much. But in all seriousness, Derpy Entertainment, what is up? In all seriousness, we are getting 2 other Star Wars movies announced next week at Star Wars Celebration. So what those movies are going to be about, when those movies are going to take place, we don't know. Is it going to be a trilogy, and the Stephen Knight, Miss Marvel directed movie in 2025 is going to be the first of that trilogy? We don't know. However, Han did shoot first, Derpy Entertainment, you are correct. However, it's just... Honey Badger says, today is a bad day for stream. I don't know what's true or what's false. Why do you do this to me? Okay. Everything I've said today is true except for the Rian Johnson trilogy thing. I'll give you that. There's no other April Fool's joke. Imagine I just went through all of these announcements and just said April Fool's and all of them were fake. Imagine. I should have done that. I really should have. No, but all of them are real. So there are 2 other movies. From here on out, I won't be, no more April Fool's jokes. From here on out. So, also, this Star Wars channel is most definitely pod racing. What? It's most definitely pod racing? Your Star Wars channel is most definitely pod racing. So those other 2 movies, we don't really know who they're going to be directed by, who they're going to be written by, when they're going to take place. But if Dave Filoni's name is on any of that, then sign me the frick up. We know Dave Filoni's in the writer's room for this next movie, so it's going to be awesome, but who knows? Derpy Entertainment says, now this is pod racing. Exactly. He says, see what I did there? Now I do, yes. You had to explain it to me, but now I understand. Yes. That's what I'm scared about. That's why I'm, okay. Har. Because I definitely thought it was a thing. What? Satirely? Is that a word? Are you making up words on me, Honey Badger? Are you making up words on me? I know satire is a word, but is satirely a word? Yeah, no. So what do you guys think those movies are going to be about? And when do you think they're going to take place? I think it's absolutely possible that we get a Mandalorian movie, and it won't be called The Mandalorian. Maybe it's called like Heir to the Empire or something along those lines, which would be so cool. I mean, I've told you guys my idea about give us a trilogy in between episode 6 and episode 7, make those 7, 8, 9, and then make the sequel trilogy 10, 11, 12, and give us an Heir to the Empire trilogy with Thrawn. Why not? Therapy Entertainment says, I want Old Republic. I want Old Republic so bad. I would... Here's the thing. Taika Waititi movie is still in the works. Somehow, some way. Somewhere, somehow. And we don't know what that movie's going to be about or when it's going to take place. And there was rumors at some point that was going to be an Old Republic movie. Now, I think a Bane trilogy or even like just something cool in the Old Republic, a Revan trilogy even, would be so cool. Just give us an Old Republic trilogy. Like, you want the fans back on your side? Give us an Old Republic trilogy, put Dave in charge, and call it a day. Simple as that. But yeah, no, yeah, Old Republic would be so cool. Honey Badger says, yes, it's not a word. Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Sounded right in the sentence, though. It did. I hope so. Maybe Mando and Ahsoka will lead into a movie around the Mandalorians, Grogu, Ezra, Ahsoka, Boba. That's my dream. It would be a cool movie, and I really hope it does happen. But if it's just a one-off movie, like a Star Wars film, like we talked about earlier, it won't get viewed as much as if it was a trilogy. If it was a trilogy, like, you're talking about billions upon billions of dollars. That, like, it's when we talk about not being rocket science, with Lucasfilm, for some reason, everything has to be the most difficult version of how it should be. The sequel trilogy was the easiest way to make billions upon billions of dollars. What did they do? They made it so that it was impossible for them to make billions of dollars. Each movie made $1 billion. But they could have made $2, $3, $4 billion if you had Star Wars at the capacity that Star Wars is supposed to be. If you had an Old Republic trilogy, you're talking about billions of dollars. If you had this Heir to the Empire trilogy, you're talking about billions of dollars that they're just missing out on. And you talk about the whole episodes come out at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. they're missing out on billions of dollars. You know how many more people would watch the show if it was on a Friday night? And how many more people would talk about it? How many more people would get a freaking Disney Plus membership? How many people would, a subscription? How many people would actually be hyped about this freaking shows? Freaking 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'll never get over it. Derpy Entertainment says, yeah, if I were an Old Republic trilogy, it would be the tone of Andor and the pacing to degree that 100% what it should be though. Let me try that again, because I think I read that wrong and you did not write that wrong. Yeah. If I were Old Republic trilogy, it would be the tone of Andor and pacing to the degree that's 100% what it should be though. I think I understand what you're trying to say. It should be the Andor tone and Andor pacing with just Jedi and lightsaber and Sith and awesomeness. So Andor, but better, but cooler and better. Yeah, no, I know what you meant. Or a project similar to Tales of the Jedi or the Clone Wars show of spin-offs. Huh. I feel like if they do Old Republic, they can't do it in animation. It has to be live action. It has to be a trilogy or a Disney Plus show that introduces us into the world and then gives us a trilogy afterwards. If you started in animation, it would not be good. You would miss out on a lot of money. You'd miss out on a lot of fans and all that stuff. It would not be a good idea. Swagger Like Us says, amen. Wouldn't it be multiple men? Honey Badger says, yes, that would be great. Anything Old Republic would be great. You ask any fan that's of Star Wars, they would tell you the same exact thing. And it's not rocket science. Can somebody write that down? It's not rocket science, and then send it to Lucasfilm for 1,000 years, and then write on a separate note, 3 a.m. on a Wednesday is stupid, with a picture of Kathleen Kennedy's face. Please. And thank you. I don't know. But Star Wars Celebration is next weekend, and it's going to be extremely exciting. And I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait, and I cannot wait. Derpy Entertainment says one day we will get Eternal Twins series and movie trilogy. Eternal Twins? You lost me there. I don't. Eternal Twins? Am I forgetting something? Swagger Like Us says, I have an Old Republic comic. It's a shame. Eternal Twins in the Old Republic. Either I'm completely forgetting or I just did not. I don't know. I have an Old Republic comic. It's a shame to let all that amazing lore sit idle collecting dust. Exactly. The amount of lore and characters already there just for you to just plop them into canon, literally perfect characters that people already know and love. It's just so simple and easy to just go do that and make billions of dollars. At some point they just have to be whatever. Eternal Empire is awesome. Yeah, I remember the Eternal Empire. Who are the Eternal Twins? I don't know. I'm missing something. I'm also very, very tired, but that's I just can't wait for Star Wars Celebration next weekend. Hopefully we get some great announcements, and maybe something about the Old Republic would be nice too. Would be nice as well. Because, look, we're getting these books, and I pull this freaking book out every fucking stream, so whoa, did I just say that? We're getting these books. And honestly, who cares about these books? I read them. The story's pretty good, sure. But if it was an Old Republic book, if this was canon Old Republic, do you want to make money, Lucasfilm? It ain't rocket science. I've been saying it ain't rocket science too long. Too many times. Celebration better be good. It will be good. I think it will be great. Derpy Entertainment is nervous about Acolyte. Ooh, interesting. Why are you nervous about the Acolyte? Let's go. Rated R, Mike. I try not to. I tried my best. You got me too excited about the Old Republic and how stupid Lucasfilm is. That's for the after hours. See, at some point, this channel will get big enough to where we will have members, and we will have member streams, and those streams will have rated R mic out the wazoo, because those won't be public streams on YouTube. Hopefully one day. Hopefully one day. Hopefully one day. And with all that being said, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe so we can get to that point. Of course, hit the bell so you get notified every time I post a video. My pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Of course. Of course. So that we can get to that point where we can get members and have a member stream and have all that fun stuff as well. Of course. They need to capitalize on KOTOR era and more Jedi and Sith stories. Exactly. People love Jedi. People love Sith. Why not give us the time period where there's hundreds of each of them? Thousands of each of them. It's stupid. Darby Entertainment says, the director is basically Kathleen Kennedy on drugs. Oh, okay. Honey Badger says, man, that was great. These streams are great. These streams have gotten just to a whole nother level since all of you guys have arrived, because before it was just me talking to myself, and it's hard to get hyped just talking to yourself. As much of a hype guy I am, it is a lot harder to do so. But it is a lot easier when I look over and somebody is giving me some nice words of encouragement. You know? All right, we did cover all of the announcements that I at least had written down here. Anybody else? Did I miss anything? Do you guys think that we will be getting any other announcements next weekend at Star Wars Celebration? Do you want me to just throw you guys on a complete curveball? I mean, this stream has already gone off the rails. I'm drinking something other than water today. Wild. It's a smoothie. Strawberry banana. Going back to the water, though. Somebody guess what was in my bowl? Guess what was in my bowl before it was all gone? It was dry, clearly, because there's no liquid in there. Man, we really run out of topics to talk about. At least my setup didn't fall over today, and I didn't pour water on myself today. It was a great stream today. I like Do we like the Saturday setup? I like the Saturdays. I like Saturdays. Swagger Like Us says, Neo Crusader Mandalorian lore by itself would be insane. So anything Mandalorian would be insane, honestly. Like older Mandalorian. You're talking about like... I mean, you mentioned Tar Vizsla earlier in a Tales of the Jedi type thing, but even Mandalorian Civil Wars, like before the prequel trilogy, would be so cool. Or even the Mandalorians versus the Jedi. Oh, give me a whole trilogy on that. Honey Badger says a pog soup. Yes, a pog soup. That was not what was in my bowl. You're incorrect. Derpy Entertainment says, banana strawberry smoothie, you say? Yes, I do say. I say a lot of things, though, so I don't know. Should you believe me? Probably, because everything I say is straight facts, except for when I say that Ryan Johnson... See, the whole thing was, I actually wasn't going to say... I was like, okay, it's April Fool's, right? So I was like, we're going to do a stream. I'm going to do something awesome for April Fool's. What should I do? Right? Here, Derpy, you can have some of my smoothie. You want some? Do you want some? Here you go. But I was like, all right, so what do I do? And then I was thinking about it. I was like, Ryan Johnson trilogy would be kind of funny. But originally, I actually didn't have that idea going in as I started the stream. My original idea, and I have it written right here in the notebook, was April Fool's equals Rey main character of the new Stephen Knight Miss Marvel directed movie. Confirmed, Rey is the main character going in. And then as the stream went on, I was kind of feeling the room, and I didn't think that would be good enough. I think Ryan Johnson really hit that stride. I thought Ryan Johnson was just that evil enough of a great bad guy to put in as the nice as the nice April Fool's joke for the day. But I mean, now you have to wait for a whole nother year till you get another April Fool's joke from me. So hopefully it'll be just as good. Maybe I'll work the whole year on it, you know. Swagger Like Us says Jango Fett open season comic. Wish that was adapted in the Book of Boba Fett. Oh, instead of the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, no. Jango Fett. Here's the thing. Tamara Morrison is too old now to go back and play a younger Jango Fett. Obviously, they have deep fake technology and stuff like that. But it's come to a time where Jango would be cool. Jango would be cool. I think it would have to be animated. If you're going open season Jango Fett comic series, like adaptation, it would have to be animation. And I still think that would be cool. Having Jaster Muriel, having all that other Mandalorian stuff involved would be awesome. I think it would be so cool. Hang on, what? This isn't load. Refresh. There we go. Honey Badges, or Derpy Entertainment says, sip, sip. Honey Badger says, now I want one. Okay. Strawberry banana smoothies for everybody. On me. Go buy it. Pay with your own money, but just tell them it was on me. Say, Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, sent me, and they'll know what that means. Okay? It might be hard to find a place that's open near you at 10 o'clock at night, but you know. Honey Badger says, man, make a video on that and just send it out. A video on what? A video on what? You lost me. By the way, in the bowl, sun chips. I don't usually eat sun chips, but for some reason I saw them upstairs, and I was like, ooh, sun chips. Honey Badger, what am I making a video on? You got to tell me, please. Derpy Entertainment says, you know, what if Taika dies Star Wars film? What? What if Taika dies Star Wars film? He needs to something similar to Spaceballs or Jojo Rabbit's comedy, like that's non-canon. What? Did I just have a stroke, or did that make no sense to anybody else? You know, what if Taika dies Star Wars film? He needs... I think he's saying does. What if Taika does Star Wars film? He needs to do something similar to Spaceballs or Jojo Rabbit comedy that's non-canon. Oh, I get it. Yeah, he said does not dies. Okay, yeah, no, I get you. He said, so he's talking about what if Taika does a Star Wars film? It should be a non-canon Spaceballs type thing. Honestly, if he's gonna do that, just keep him away. Keep him away. Don't want him. Goodbye. No thanks. If he's doing something, it has to be canon, and it can be kind of jokey, like jokes here and there, but it has to be a more serious tone than Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah. You have to remember, this guy did make Thor Ragnarok. Like, that's a great movie. Like, he can do good. Honey Badger says, it was good. I had to pull up Google, to be honest. I got scared as soon as I heard Rian Johnson. I know, exactly. I thought Ryan was the perfect guy to get people scared. Honey Badger follows up and says, tropical smoothies on Mike. Yeah, exactly. Go get a smoothie on me. He says, a video on Rey being the main character as for an April Fool's. Well, now it's a little too late, honestly. It won't be April Fool's anymore. And I would have to write, record, edit all that video. We got a fun video coming out tomorrow about Moff Gideon. Swagger Like Us says, would love to see Valance in live stream. Valance. What the heck is that? Swagger Like Us. What? Well, now I'm taking this smoothie, so I want to just keep drinking the smoothie instead. Oh, Gideon video? That's hype. Yeah, it'll probably come out at like 3 tomorrow. I'll actually set a premiere for it. I'm trying a new thing where I'm going to like premiere a video like I do for the live streams. Mr. Sean 2000 actually gave me the idea. We'll see. The bounty hunter with messed up robot face. Oh, that's his name? I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He's like a Terminator almost. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. Him in live action. That'd be cool. I mean, the comics, The War of the Bounty Hunters, that whole series is really, really good. But the thing is it's a comic series. I can't imagine, I don't know the numbers, but I can't imagine the numbers on Star Wars comics nowadays. Nobody reads them, and they're good. I mean, they're not bad, and some of the stories are really, really good. Like the War of the Bounty Hunters was good. The Crimson Dawn stuff was awesome. I read all of it. But the thing is not a lot of people read it. It's kind of weird. Well, it's not that weird because nobody reads comics anymore, but it should be like an animated show. It should be a Disney Plus show, something along those lines. I can't see them making money off of all the money they put into making those comics, at least. And there is still a bunch of fans, including myself, that like to read the comics. So it's a weird situation. I like the hard copy comics. I don't know if any of you guys read comics, Star Wars comics. Whoa. This is like the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff. I love the hard copy ones just because I just like feeling it in my hands. So there's this thing called what's it called? Like Ultimate Marvel Comics or something like that. It's online. It's a pay for like subscription basis thing. Like it's kind of cool, but you don't get the physical copy, so it's like not as good, you know? Do you know? All right. What have we got? Oh, wow. An hour and 45 minutes. All right. I think we're going to get on out of here. This was a fantastic stream. I kind of like the Saturday setup, so we might be doing some more Saturday streams coming along. But of course, we got a big Mandalorian episode coming up this week, episode 6, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, live stream on Tuesday at 6 or 8. We'll figure it out. 6, most likely 6. 6, most likely. Most likely 6 on Tuesday. So get excited for that live stream. We got a video coming out tomorrow about Moff Gideon. Probably a video coming out either on Monday. Maybe. And we're doing a lot more shorts on the trailer as well. So here we go. We're growing. We're growing. The channel is growing. And thanks to you guys, it's growing. It's going at a pretty good rate, and we're just trying to get more people involved in the chat. We're doing some more live streams because it gets the community more involved, and we have a lot of fun conversations on here. It's fun to see a lot of familiar faces every stream, like Honey Badger and Swagger Like Us and Derpy Entertainment and all those guys. Florida Sucks, Mr. Sean. It's a lot. We're growing a nice community here, and it's fun to enjoy watching it grow. I really hope it gets like, we had a stream a few weeks ago where there was so many people in here, and it was like leaps and bounds, like just an insane amount of just chats coming in at all times. It was hard for me to keep up, but that is the best thing that could ever happen to me is trying to keep up with the chat. But I've become better at trying to filter out what some chats are talking to each other. You guys are just talking to each other in chat, or what I am actually supposed to read. So we'll figure it out as we go along here, but it is great to have you guys in the stream, and I can't wait to keep this journey going. A lot of fun videos, a lot of fun growing, a lot of fun, all this stuff on the way. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ass time. Yeah, I said it. All right, I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the best. Honey Badger says, I like Saturday streams. Can't wait for Tuesday live streams. Great stream. And he says, no, thank you. This is the way. Everybody subscribe. Everybody subscribe. Everybody. Swagger Like Us says, Saturday is perfect. I liked Saturday. Here's the thing. Nobody else on YouTube streams on the weekends. Like obviously a bunch of us watch Theory and a bunch of us watch Den of Nerds. They don't stream on the weekends because they're lame. So I'm like, I'll stream on the weekends. Rated R Mike, yeah. Well, hopefully we grow big enough to get the member streams that I can be rated R all I want, because it'll be members only, awesome time. But for now, I like to keep it clean. It's a family show. We like to have some fun. on the streams. So I will get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Fun Star Wars Celebration, get hype stream. Star Wars Celebration's next weekend. Next freaking weekend. And of course, we will get hyped. Watch all the trailers, watch all the announcements together. So don't forget to hit that subscribe, smash the like on this video. This is the way. And may the force be with you. Always. What a great stream. What a great stream. These streams just keep getting better. Just keep getting better. They really do. They really, really do. And as soon as we get like this actual freaking set schedule here, like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, imagine Saturday gets involved. Whew. Yes. Yes. You guys are the best. The best. Watch out for that video tomorrow. Watch out for that video tomorrow. Moff Gideon coming tomorrow. Coming tomorrow. Moff Gideon coming tomorrow. Coming tomorrow. Coming tomorrow. All right. Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night.